Well, I think it has a lot to do with the lifestyle that you want to have in retirement. And that's going to mean from a financial standpoint, but also just from a life standpoint, right? Because so much of our life and so much of our purpose and our identity has come from our work life. And you know what you're doing every day, right? The decisions that you make. And there's a lot of stuff that's almost on autopilot. And so once you retire, filling that time, you pull away someone's identity, right? If someone, let's say, was a fireman, right? If I'm Chris the fireman for the last 30 years, and now I'm just Chris, and I don't know who Chris is or what he likes to do or how he likes to spend time, it's really easy to feel very unfulfilled.
Yeah.
You kind of have that initial time where you're like, okay, I want to travel, or, I just want to relax, or whatever it is that you want to do. But after that, you can't travel forever. Most of us don't have the means to do that.
Right.
So,
Right.
or to distract ourselves with purchases or, things like that. So it's really important that we figure out how we're going to find fulfillment in retirement so that, we've waited our entire lives to have the freedom to pursue our passions. But when we're on that treadmill of life, it's very easy to not be passionate about anything.
Hmm.
You just don't have the time to do it. So just figuring out how that time's going to be filled and how you're going to find, how you're going to fund that is, I think two of the keys to having a successful retirement.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because my grandfather retired from the military, and shortly after his retirement, he became a correctional officer and then retired from that and did that until he could retire again. My dad 2 years ago retired, and then it took him all of 6 months before he was like, you know what, I'm going back. And so he's back working again. He works a adjusted schedule. He doesn't work like he used to work, but he went back because him and my uncle, they run group homes in the Bay Area. So they
Wow.
only have two, but at one point they had as many as five. And so my dad was like, all right, I did 30 years there. I'm done. I'm just going to retire. And me and your mom are just going to just do whatever. And he fixed the fence. He fixed some stuff around the house. He did some gardening. And before I knew it, he was like, I'm going to work today. And I was like, huh? What are you talking about? And so he's been working like 3 days a week when kind of he feels like it. But he's working, right? Because that's who he is. That's who I've always known. My dad has always worked. And that's one of the things that I've learned from him is how to work and work hard.
Yeah.
And I know that that becomes your identity. Like a lot of times when people ask you about yourself, the first thing you say is what you do, right? And like you mentioned, the firefighter. I'm pretty sure every firefighter is going to mention that they're a firefighter first. And
Yeah.
obviously, they may say husband or father or something like that, but it's name and occupation. It's typically how we identify ourselves. And looking forward to retirement, that is one of the things I'm concerned about because I don't like gardening. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna be out in the yard gardening. I'm not gonna pick up some random hobby like boating or one of those things. I'm not gonna be making sourdough, which seems to be a big thing now. I don't
Yeah.
know what it is that I'm gonna do, but I can imagine that I'm gonna have to have some kind of purpose or calling at that point. I do like what I'm doing now with coaching and working with men and fathers, and I can see that being something I continue to do because I can do it virtually. But I don't want to have the typical I have to do this thing right when I retire. And I
Yeah.
think that's what I'm looking forward to is like the quote unquote freedom of retirement. But a lot of that is not real for most of us, right? Like the freedom that we think we're getting sometimes is not what we expected. Have you seen that to kind of be the case?
Yeah. Yeah.